Barboons, what's up? My name is Phil. I am from Mints and Drops, and today I had the chance to sit down with Hangry from Hangry Barboons. Legendary moment. Again, he is dropping this Saturday on the Turtle Moon Launchpad for the whitelist. He understands what's organic, he understands time. Amazing individual. Enjoy. What's up, Hangry? How are you doing, man?
Doing great. Thanks for having me. Good to see
I'm
you.
really I'm delighted to have you here with my morning face. Listen, it's been a while since I wanted to reach out to you and for us to take this time. And I really appreciate you take the time to do this.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I think these things are important and
Hmm.
I want to see more content put out about Hedera. So this is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And I mean, since you've been around since so long, again, usually this is the kind of stuff where we have a plan, but right now it's just we're just gonna flow with it. How you doing? How's the space? How you feeling for Saturday? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling great. This has been probably around 10 months in the making at this point. I started working on Hangry Barboons first week of January. So it's been a long ride, but I'm like super pumped for Saturday. That's the whitelist day. And so people with a golden banana coin will get to see their Hangry Barboons that day. And so, I mean, I guess for people that maybe aren't aware of me, I go by Hangry online. I'm creating the Hangry Barboons NFT project on Hedera, and they're going to be 4,444, digital collectibles that are going to look really cool. And one of the main, I guess goals of the project was to create fun art. Also the artist that will attract eyeballs onto Hedera because before I went to Hedera, I thought that I jumped around from Ethereum and Solana, and I saw certain types of projects that I didn't feel like necessarily were on Hedera yet. So just given my skill set, the type of art I thought I could make, it's like something very mainstream. I thought this was the perfect place to do it. And over the course of the last few months, I've gotten to know the community, and all that has been super fun. And we're all like really excited for Saturday.
It's yeah, we all are. I mean,
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm like with
yeah,
you, and so it's gonna be
that's
cool.
that's amazing. Really, how many people is there in your team? You say you're the artist. I didn't know. That's one thing. Yeah,
Oh, you didn't know that?
I
Yeah, yeah.
didn't. That's
So,
that's crazy. That's crazy, man.
yeah, I am. I mean, the team is like officially the team is me. It's a
Hmm.
solo project, but like I have a great mod team on Discord, and I'm in Discord all the time. So that definitely part of the team. I mean, almost feel like the whole community is a team because it takes a
Hmm.
community to build a project and grow and attract other people to the network. So, but yeah, I mean, I decided to just start drawing, in January. I come
Yeah.
from a medical background. In real life, I'm a healthcare provider.
Wow.
And back in 2013 or so, I started drawing medical illustrations to teach medicine. And I published a few books related to my medical artwork, and my artwork is used in schools and things like that. So I have this background of like digital illustration, sort of publishing books and things in Web 2, and I'm bringing those skills over here. I'm also like pretty good at like graphic design and video editing, and I just feel like it's like a cool skill set that works for NFTs. It works really
Absolutely.
perfectly. Like I feel like I've used everything I know in this,
Hmm. Yeah, it shows.
and obviously community building and then networking's huge because even though I do feel like I have a pretty wide skill set, you can only do so much alone. So like
Hmm.
collaborating with people is super important. Getting the right devs involved. I'm working with Turtle Moon and HBAR Space, and hopefully even others as the project grows and things. So networking is huge, and I'm also excited to like collaborate with other projects in the space.
Hmm. Yeah,
There's like a little family, so.
it is, and that's what's so fun because since we're so very few, um, you just feel like everyone wants to just help each other. So that's the fun
Yeah,
part, right? So yeah.
I am reaching like this threshold though where it's like So Hedera is growing, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people joining, so it's hard to like you have only so much
Yeah.
mind share, right? And so I know there's a lot of people that would probably like to collaborate and things, but it's hard. You can only do
It
so
is.
much. So the people that I grew up with on Hedera are sort of the ones I'm collaborating with at this moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of good OG projects that I'm like friends with basically, and those are ones that I'm like, um, supporting a lot and even collaborating with.
Mm-hmm. It shows. It shows that you really positioned yourself in a way that you're friends with absolutely everybody, which is the best way, right? Because you can weather yourself in French. It's called putting yourself in silo or in a lane where you just don't get out of it, and that's what I try to do with Mints and Drops, where I try to kick those barriers down. Where, hey man, I'm the very first one to go inside the Discord. I haven't been in a month, and not
Yeah,
because
I
I didn't
see.
want to, but I'm like, no, I'm like I just hit the limit of 200 discords, right? And
Wow.
there's only so much you can do. So at one point, I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
man, it's been a while since we talked. And it's not because I don't care. It's because, well, bro, life goes fast, especially here. So you really position yourself where, I see you down in the Dead Pixels Ghost channel oftenly, and shout out to your
Yeah.
amazing gift making potential right there, man. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone knows you're the gift god, and I mean that's the way for me to really do stuff, and together inside a certain reality where it's not all pink and naked angels and fruit baskets and whatnot. This is reality. People want to make money. They want.
Yeah.
I understand that, but in a certain way, we have to. There's high fives that needs to be done, and you seem to be slaying that lane for sure.
Yeah. When I kind of put together a white paper right from the beginning. Teddy bars and Jolly Llamas were a couple of the first people to really help me get
Mm-hmm.
started in Hedera. Teddy actually, he's behind Meta Zombies. He and Teddy bars and others. They just he just kind of derugged sloths too. Oh,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
on the
yeah.
sloths team.
I
Yeah,
am.
so that's cool. Yeah, so that's awesome. So he helped me a lot at the very
Mm-hmm.
beginning, and I wrote. I think they encouraged me to like write a quick white paper and stuff. And one of the very first things that I included was I want to build organically
Mm-hmm.
and connect with a lot of people in a natural a natural way, not
Yeah.
like paying for like
Mm-hmm.
followers or growing the project to impress with numbers or things like that. It has to happen naturally, and
Yeah.
it's very easy to tell when it's not natural.
Mm-hmm.
You say, hey, I'm coming, and then there's all of a sudden 10K followers. Like that doesn't seem, why would people, so it is a lot of work to
Mm-hmm.
actually build organically, and I'm proud of that. I
Yeah.
think it's worth it.
It is. It is because down the road it means much more than just flipping, and it gives meaning. Organic is the way, and yeah, that's the point, especially when you wear many hats, that's great because people see it, and it resonates really strong because we see that the branding, Hangry, not gonna lie, people notice it's one of the strongest branding out there, and this is the
Yeah.
magical part, right? Because you cannot just go, hey, yeah, I'm gonna brand this. It's gonna be brandable like this or Nike or
Yeah,
whatever.
I think most projects, that's one of the main goals, is to build a brand, and it's easy to just say, hey, we're building a brand, but to execute that is
Yeah.
way different, and I also want to just give a shout out to Crypto King. He's one of the mods on Discord, and he
Yeah,
always
yeah.
gives me slack for not shouting him out. So there you go, Crypto King.
Shout out to Crypto King. We love him.
Great mod. He's in there all the time, holding it down.
It's
Does a lot
true.
of work.
It's true. It's true, and that's part of the community and your socials and whatnot. So, hey, listen, I want to talk about a little bit about the presidential campaign you've brought
Oh
up. This
yeah.
this this angle was really, really fudging cool, man. I mean, it resonated really with me and with a whole lot of people because on Twitter it was fire, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that made a lot of sense because it wasn't intentional what I'm about to say, but with Web3, you're building an NFT project if you're a creator and building a community. So doesn't it make a lot of sense to run for president? Because a government is a community, so it like kind of worked perfectly. And that was an idea really from Binks from Pixeland, formerly H Farmery. She made this meme tweet on a post and said, "Hey, Hangry for president," somewhere I think in the comments, and that struck a chord with me. And I'm like, yeah, and I kind of made the whole project around a government called the United Hashgraph of Planet Earth, and that I'm running for president for it. And we're going to start this campaign, and I'm running against Do Kwon and Vitalik Buterin. They're my competitors, and we're on the Hashgraph team, and they're on like the blockchain team. And I found like this bot to create a poll on Discord, and then I started using the poll really practically as a way to keep track of who I was distributing whitelist to also. So it was sort of a tool at the same time, but it was a lot of fun to like start a campaign, everyone joining in. I made like a cabinet, and so in Discord people were getting roles, getting on the cabinet and things. And some of those elements of the running for president I included in the project, like the United Hashgraph of Planet Earth is the society government thing that where the Hangry Barboons live on planet Earth. And so that UHPE logo appears in the art now. So that's something that like without the community, like people like Banks wouldn't have appeared in the actual project. And then the number 444 became a huge part of the project too, because we started saying Hangry for president or Hangry 444 president. And just the number fours just became a huge theme in general. Like the price of each NFT at launch will be 444H bar. There's 4,444 Hangry Barboons, and that's just always going to be like a main thing. The significance of it is really just I chose that number because when I was a kid, I wore the number 4 on like my basketball jersey and baseball jersey. So it is a number I actually like and have used even since I was a kid. But other than that, I think it helped burn in people's minds. Oh, 444 is related to Hangry, and remember the price of the NFT. And it's just, from a creator perspective, it's good marketing, I think, and it's also a lot of fun to just create elements that are memeable, things that are memorable, and then you can build on that foundation. So definitely, we're building a brand. I want to create more merch and branch out to other areas. But creating, I've been like working really hard on the art to make sure that it's an IP, it's a real IP, that it's distinct. Obviously, this art is inspired by a ton of projects that came before the Hangry Barboons. It's one of those 3/4, PFP type art projects, but I tried to put my own spin on it. I loved cartoons growing up, like Ren and Stimpy, Nickelodeon cartoons, Disney, and those are, I don't know if those elements appear in the artwork, maybe, but that's sort of my inspiration, and some web comics too. So I worked really hard on the artwork, and yeah,
it shows. And one other value that you seem to bring is, and especially understand, aside from branding, art, of course, inspirational. Everybody is being inspired by everything, and that's the key part of taking all that inspiration and making it yours, right? So that's your stamp, that's Hangry,
right?
And it. One other value that I see that it's 100%, you can feel it down your Discord, your socials. I'm talking to you right now, and it's clear as day. It's time where right now, man, you've seen you be on this since the month of January. That's absolutely crazy, because right here, the time, if it doesn't go 10x, for sure it's even faster, because it feels like I've known you for like 5 years or so. So the time perspective, it's really insane. And at the same time, I want to put emphasis on the fact that, time is so important to build, especially something that's organic, something that's true, and something that has meaning for the art, the community, the perspective, what you're doing post Saturday, where, it's going to be flawless for sure. What's after that, in a way that, okay, I'm investing time in this, and you understand this fully.
Yeah. In the last, since January, I've had options to like launch the project say like 6 months in or 8 months in, but I felt like it wasn't ready. And
Mhm.
so setting that foundation is what's going to, you can see it already. Like there's a lot of people that are excited about it and want the project to explode really for the benefit of Hedera in general. So
Mhm.
once we establish that community and that this collection has a certain, benefit for the community, then we build on layers of complexity with devs and um and even like if the community wants to take the art and make their own things with it creatively, I'm okay with that. So I'm not going to restrict community members when they get their Hangry Barboon if they want to use it
Mhm.
for other things, print them and make posters, t-shirts, make derivative NFTs. I'm not going to restrict the community from even using the Hangry Barboons how they want. But I will have to rely on devs that I partner with to expand the project. Now, I haven't committed to like say creating a token or all those things, but
Mhm.
I'm super plugged into the Hedera ecosystem. I know what technologies are emerging and all that, and I'm
Yeah.
considering what would make the most sense for the Hangry brand
Mhm.
moving forward. I also don't want to dilute the collection with
Yeah.
like too many NFTs. I could keep drawing like you know like for example there's mutant versions of collections and things.
Mhm.
I understand the appeal to that, but I want to make sure that if I were to expand the universe of the Hangry brand, that it makes sense and doesn't dilute the original
Mhm.
Hangry
Yeah.
Barboon.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of strategy to consider when you're talking about what technology do I want to add on to this base layer of a strong community and strong art that's strategic, that you don't like fumble at the
Yeah.
end
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people are like, oh, that doesn't matter, or I don't care about that. So um, there's so many options to choose from in terms of utility, right? Like, oh, I can go this route. It's not a mystery. We all know what types of utility are very common and
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
So, but I'm trying to be careful about what makes sense with the Hangry Barboons and making sure that those technologies are accessible to me. They will be. So I'm still planning that phase, but it's coming in phases. So right now is the community and art building stage, and now we're transitioning into another sort of building phase to keep the whole brand going moving forward.
Yeah, that's flawless in my opinion. Again, because look, you're launching on Saturday and you're talking about building. That that
Yeah, for sure.
that speaks volume. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a great way. I'm not saying it's the only way, but it's a really great way to do things because you're building something that's organic and that's true. And yeah, respect that. And there's so many ways. And right now, I feel I want to just have your take on this. I feel like we're some kind of accumulation period where everyone's trying to figure out what's post JPEG. What's the next thing? Past past the staking, past even the lands,
Exactly.
past the all the which is really nice. I mean, I'm really excited for any lands, any staking, anything, any DeFi. I think that's really amazing. What's being built on the header right now. What's the next step? What will be able to like say you're going to be able to use every day, whether it's smirks, something, a mechanism for you to apply and boast, and especially being able to show it all off.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the way I was thinking. Like, I think all those utilities you mentioned are useful and fun and have a place, right? And hey, I may even use some of those, but I want to make sure that it's not a gimmick either.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. And I'm not saying those things are gimmicks at all. I'm just saying that I need
Yeah.
to have a good use case personally, and then I'll take advantage of that. So it's good to leverage those technologies for sure. But it is interesting to think about what can you do with an NFT.
Mm-hmm.
Typically at the foundation, it's a token gated idea. You're creating some sort of exclusivity. You have this pass, and the way I've structured my project is that there's a hierarchy in terms of the exclusivity. I created 14 Hangry heads back in like March. Those are
Yeah.
like my first ever minted artwork. So they have some special significance to me. I'm like, this is my first art as an NFT creator. And there's 14 of them, there's 14 holders. Those people are diamond handing those
Yeah,
14
for
Hangry
sure.
heads.
Hmm.
And so as the project grows, I intend to make those extra special NFTs and sort of like
Hmm.
they have an alpha channel, and I'm giving them a free Hangry Barboon, and it's also a whitelist pass like the golden banana coin. And then so you have those 14, and then on the next step in sort of the hierarchy is the 444 golden banana coins, which
Hmm.
I've created the Golden Banana Coin Society. So that's also like an exclusive little club within the Hangry kind of universe. And you can also be creative with those people in that club because they're like the hardcore fans. So you
Hmm.
can say, hey, with if you're holding these, when the project gets bigger, there should be some benefit to holding them
Something.
somehow, right?
Hmm.
And I'm not saying anything this moment, but it just makes sense that the people who support you early on may get
Yeah.
some alpha or whatever, and benefits like that the outside community doesn't get. And then the 4,444 Hangry Barboons is, hey, you're also part of the community, and there should be, as like say the Hangry brand makes partnerships with other companies or collabs with other projects, then hopefully the Hangry Barboons benefit from that, or just intrinsically from the stuff I'm creating, and maybe I expand the team in the future because it's just so
Hmm.
much work. Then we come up with creative ideas collaboratively and all that. So you're sort of building a company here. When you're building an NFT project, it's if you're building a brand, you're building a company really, and it's a long-term thing. But it's also not something that I would rush at all. So
Hmm.
I I can't I can't like tomorrow be a billion-dollar company or anything. This is something that takes time. It's taken me 10 months to put out this artwork, whereas other projects have launched much sooner than me. And
Hmm.
and let me also just clarify that I life happens, right? So
It does.
I'm not in on Discord 24/7. It may seem like it, but I have a family, um and my parents live close by, and so life can get complicated, and sometimes that delays the art too, and or the project in general, and that I will admit that's part of the reason I've had to delay a little bit, because life happens.
Hmm.
But throughout the 10 months I've been working on it and trying to do my best for sure.
And we appreciate it. And with the 2 years we've had, people want something real.
Yeah.
And that's part of, we were talking about post JPEG and everything. They want genuine stuff. You're talking about organic too. So that's part of being organic too. And that's the same thing I do for this channel. I record everything one take. If I F up or, whatever happens, hey man, I'm doing my best. This is a full-time thing, where I do
Yeah.
this my wholeheartedly, and, I put time, just like you do. But life happens, and people,
Yeah.
I think, appreciate that in a way that you give your full, you're being transparent, communication is there, they see you there. Right now I feel that nothing beats somebody that slays and that's being transparent and empathetic. um, and you seem to be doing just that, and that's what people appreciate, something that's real, something that's concrete, and something that's not phony, like, hey man, I'm doing this, but
Yeah.
life happens, okay, this is a result. So yeah.
Yeah. I won't go into it too much now, but yeah, I've had a tough
Yeah.
um that's 4 months or so, had some rough family stuff, um but that's I still feel like this is an important space. It's an emerging technology and worth pursuing, and maybe eventually it becomes my main career,
Mm-hmm.
um and I think from what I've noticed, it's fun to talk about NFTs now, because when I started back in December, January, I was so new to it that I didn't understand the culture and all the subtleties to it. But I really understand it now. In my opinion, and
Mm-hmm.
and so it's in my opinion, an NFT project seems to be, especially in Hedera, an extension of the creator's that are running it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's if you cut off the head of the creator, so to speak, the project will die. And so it's interesting that you join the sloths and everything, because you're putting the head back on.
Yeah.
And you know what? People were really excited about that, because they knew that the people running the sloths now are legit OG people.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gave life back to the project, right? So in the same way, it
It's a
just
great
goes to
example.
show that you can it's almost like the creators, the person that are running the project are just as important as the project, the intangible thing, the art,
Mm-hmm.
and the things that are happening with the project. I think it's not really great if you don't know anything at all about who's running a project. There should be some sort of knowledge about, like, and I'm not saying doxed, I'm just saying that
Mm-hmm. No, no,
that
no, I
you
get
sort
it.
of know who it is,
Yeah.
and there's people that aren't doxed but running great projects, but you get to know them through social media or Twitter Spaces or Discord or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
if it's just super anonymous, now I just thought of another idea, a case that actually goes against what I just said, because on ETH there were those what were they? They're like not gremlins. There were
Goblins?
those goblins. So
Yeah.
those that just came out of nowhere. No one knew who made them, and they pumped,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
everyone got into it, and they were making those
Yeah.
weird noise on. So that's a probably an outlier to what I just
Mm-hmm.
said.
Yeah, yeah.
But that goes to show that in Web3, like almost anything's possible. But they
Mm-hmm.
sort of struck a chord with people, so good for them.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah,
eventually
yeah.
doxed. But
Yeah, it's all about how you get there. And there, there's so many ways to get there for sure. But yeah, yeah. So most time people, I believe, in my opinion, like thorough communication in a way. Okay, I'm
yeah,
doing this. Wow, okay. And even though it's not, okay, I'm minting something or I'm drawing or whatever, just so they know that, okay, it gives them first and foremost security in a way, and in a way that, okay, it's the level of trust. Okay, this person is
trust.
doing
Yeah,
this. And after that, of course, it gives them, it's relatable. And especially if you chip in, in a genuine way. Hey, okay, I got stuff to do, so I'm gonna take a break from this and there. So people can relate, and it only brings much more emphasis on the branding, in my opinion, brings
yeah,
organically. So
agreed.
so yeah, man. Thank you for your time, man. I know even that's a crazy day for you, but you still took the time. I appreciate everything you do. You're a positive force in there. I say this, no cap. Will say this anywhere. I pass by the Discord every single time I can. I retweet everything because I truly believe in what you do. Best of success for Saturday. I know it'll go really well on Turtle Moon Launchpad. Onwards, I'll be there if you need anything. Again, I'll say the on and off the cam. You rock. Thank you for taking the time, man.
Thanks, Phil. I really appreciate that, and I'll be seeing you on Discord, and we'll be in touch. But we'll do this again sometime.
Real pleasure. Take care.
All right, later.